My liege, all we found among Batlin's belongings was this enchanted scroll, and a map showing the way to a place called the Serpent Isle.
Indeed. Put it on the table. Stand back!
Batlin! In the unlikely event that the Avatar stops me from coming through the Black Gate, I command you to follow the unwitting female human Gwenno to the Serpent Isle. There I shall outline my plan to destroy Britannia.
'Tis my worst fear. I must send the Avatar through the pillars to the Serpent Isle.
Hello, and welcome back guys to the channel and to more Ultima VII goodness, this time with part 2, Serpent Isle, released in 1993, about a year later after the Black Gate. We'll be playing this game with the Serpent Isle Fixes mod, which I think will work just fine on the official version. I will talk about that later. As we're playing this, after the in-game intro, Exalt just had an update, by the way, version 1.12. Real quick before I start, I went ahead and updated to it. Uninstalled or removed every folder and remaining files and such. Make sure there's no issues with this game running. I played with it a bit half a week ago, a few days ago, and it seems to work just fine. But no time gabbing, I'm just gonna go ahead and start a new game, and look. Fancy schmancy portraits. We got female, male blonde avatar, brunette, and a bit darker skin, and black. That's it. It starts off with female for some reason. We're going to choose the male, just to be more consistent, the blonde guy to be exact, and name him Ruben because, just keep, like I said, to keep consistent. He does look a lot different than his Black Gate counterpart, doesn't he? He looks a bit more tan. Well, let's just journey onward and begin this rather excellent adventure. This is a really good game. Just as good as a Black Gate. Look, rabbit. It's probably looking for food. I'm low on health a little bit and mono. Ah, what happened? Is everyone alright? Avatar! 'Twas a fearsome passage, Ruben. After we sailed between the serpent pillars, I could have sworn that we were flying. Yet here we are on the ship. Wonder if I lost anything. We may be on the ship, but the ship is upon dry land. I think that thou art correct, Iolo. We did fly. Ugh. Dost thou notice the chill in the air? 'Tis much colder here than at home. I hope Gwenno brought enough warm clothing. Do not worry, so old friend. We shall find thy wife soon enough. And that fiend Batlin, I hope. Look, Ruben. A strange storm is nearly upon us. This is certainly not Britannia. Where are we? Let us find Batlin. Do not forget about Gwenno. Alright, first off, save. Right there. Do a backup. Manual. And LP1. Just in case something goes haywire. So let's disembark off the ship, which is not the Golden Ankh from the Black Gate. Because the Golden Ankh did not have a prow. Right here. And no storage cellar, which really sucks. But if we open up our inventory, our paper doll, look, it is much more higher quality than the Black Gate. No longer do you have just the graphic of the avatar and your companions with lines designating the what kind of armor can go in each slot. You can put your armor off and on your character. Your shield can go on your backpack like that. Jewelry also goes around your neck, of course. You got gauntlets, you got leggings. Boots are a spellbook. That is a glass sword. and weapons can be sheathed on your back if they're two-handed, or on your belt if it's one-handed. Pretty cool. In our backpack, we got a few things. We got Rudium's Wand, which helped us to destroy the Black Gate in the last game. We got this interesting thing, the Black Rock Order Serpent. Now, the Avatar got that in the previous game, not Black Gate, but Labyrinth of Worlds. It's mentioned in this little scroll here, which I'll read. Dear Reuben, all the portents indicate that this quest to find Batlin shall severely tax thine abilities. Consequently, I have ordered the armories of the kingdom opened in order to equip thee and thy good companions. Thou shalt be given these things. ... The glass sword, which can slay any foe, which is destroyed in the act of such slaughter. Quick pause here, but if you watch the Black Gate, add a whole barrel full of glass swords. Now, obviously the game would be way too easy if I was able to bring a whole barrel of glass swords, but you know, I would take more than one at least. The Mage Bane, a fabled weapon which thou didst recover in thy previous encounter with Batlin. It steals the magic from sorcerers who oppose thee. Previous encounter with Batlin. Does he really mean our entire adventure in the Black Gate? Because we found the Mage Bane, which Dupre is using, in Stonegate, not with Batlin. None of the final bosses, the final enemies, were carrying the Mage Bane. The Daemon Sword, which thou didst obtain at the Forge of Virtue. It is truly a terrible weapon, but thou wilt surely need it. Beware the Daemon within, Arcadian, or Arcadian, whatever your pronunciation. Rudium's Wand, which doth make Black Rock to explode. The strange Serpent of Black Rock, which thou didst obtain from Netherworlds during thy most recent adventure. Ultima Underworld 2, Labyrinth of Worlds. Its powers are unknown, but those who gave it thee, promised that it would be useful to thee soon. I guess Lord British wrote this very quickly. A spell book to which hath been obtained, added every spell that could be speedily obtained. For thee to wear, a set of armor of the best enchantments, breastplate, helm, gauntlets, and do not forget the leggings and boots. For Iolo the Bard, a crossbow which he doth wield so well. For noble Dupre, a magic shield which I have prepared for him. For Shamino the Ranger, a magic bow, and a goodly supply of burst arrows, which he shall no doubt use to good purpose. As well as such common items as torches, a pair of swamp boots, a good dagger, and much food for an extended journey. Travel in safety, and may the villain Batlin soon fall into thine hands. Also, I hope that thou shalt soon find Iolo's lost wife, the good woman, Gwenno, Lord British, thy liege. And here's some food, here's some money, alcohol, and the sword. I'll talk to Arcadian and see how he's doing. Where hast thou taken me, Avatar? I served thee well upon the Isle of Fire. Why hast thou brought me to this cold place? I gave thee the power of life and death over thine enemies, and see how thou hast repaid me. I remain bound within this jewel, in a land where I cannot feed. The veins of power have been disrupted. Release me. Release me. Well, maybe I'm punishing you for not doing what I told you to do, because you didn't kill every single enemy that I wanted you to, like liches, for example. So, well, not really. He just can't really do his thing on here, and I guess I had him under contract because he doesn't want to serve me anymore. Let's look at our spell book. I'm going to try to do this as quick as I can, go through everyone's inventory and such. And we got a lot of spells of almost every single circle, if you want to take a little look-see. But no reagents. That's too bad. And some spells are exclusive to Serpent Isle, like Fire Snake. That wasn't in the Black Gate. You could say when the ether was fixed that maybe advancements were made with magic in Britannia. He was on Britannia for about 18 months, which is a little bit too long to figure out where Batlin's going to be going. But Iolo has his crossbow, magical bolts. How many does he have? 20. And no wonder he's cold. He's just wearing a tank top. Also, their clothes are a little funny. It's like just look at the tunic there. A little odd. But he's carrying a lot of torches, his loot, an extra pair of pants. That's cool. Dupre's got his Mage Bane and a special unique shield that was mentioned from that letter. Also has a kidney belt. He's also got an expression on his face that looks very fierce. Alcohol, of course, some food, and Shamino has a magical bow, which is cool. Burst arrows, which are not very good. They can potentially explode your companions. I don't like using them. Doesn't matter and just doesn't matter for this playthrough, I mean. And he's got a hammer of all things, a two-handed hammer. That's funny. Well, he also has a pair of swamp boots. Pretty cool. Stats. Ruben's got lesser stats compared to the Black Gate. I mean, obviously, the game would be easier if I was able to bring on my awesome stats from the previous game, from Forge of Virtue. He's got a lot of intelligence and magic, though, so he's covered there. Iolo is very, very weak, but has good dexterity, but pretty low combat. Shamino, or Dupre rather, is a strong guy, and is actually better for melee in this part of the game, and Shamino is about the same. So I think we'll head south. I think I'm forgetting one more thing I wanted to talk to. Let's just go south. No more gabbing. It's been about, what, 10 minutes? Well, I hope nothing bad happens on the way to civilization. I'm sure this will be a very, very smooth journey. Help! What? Ah, rabbit, help! Teleport storm. What the deuce? He is gone! Where'd he go? Yow! Still a magic boot there? What happened? Where are my friends? Iolo? Shamino? Dupre? Oh, what the deuce? My goodness. What is all this? My chest is feeling rather strange. This isn't how the magical armor fitted my body. What is this? That's a different kind of breastplate. What's that? Pumice. What is this? This is not a helmet. That is a woman's fur cap. I'm taking that off. A red rock. A pine cone. I got a bunch of weird stuff in my inventory. What the heck, man? Ugh, jeez. I've been here 5 minutes. Well, 10 minutes. But yeah. Our companions are gone. What the heck just happened? Hopefully they're not dead. Man, this adventure hasn't even started yet. My weapons are gone. Our caddying is gone. At least I still have my magical leggings and magical boots and my magical shield. And my trusty Ankh. Well, I hope we'll find our companions very, very soon. What is this right here? Ice swine. I guess no choice but to continue onward south. And hopefully find a banana. Sure, I'll take that. Don't know where it came from. Also, it says bananas when it's just one. That's funny. Thus arrived. Who said that? It's a pretty monk with blonde hair and blue eyes. Even as was foretold, I have traveled a great distance to meet with thee. My name is Thoxa. Well, nice to meet you, Thoxa. But wait, I proceed too quickly. Perhaps thou art not the promised hero. I must test thee, lest I give mine assistance in error. So it's like, wait, I'm going too quickly. I gotta give you a bunch of copyright questions to make sure you actually bought this game, at least back in the day. Which is what this is. In Erston's book, the section entitled Order Other Landmarks covers how many areas. Thankfully, I still have my trusty manual, which is right in front of me. And the answer to this one is... Wow, this answer was not in the book. And not in some websites online. But the answer to this one is 4. Yes, 4. Seriously, it was not in the manual. That's weird. Well, that's question 1. How many forces, when combined, form the principles of balance? That would be 6. How many clans divide the city of Monitor? That is 3, if I remember correctly. It's a pretty easy question if you play this game once. Thou art truly the one I seek. Congratulations. You passed the copyright protection. You've officially bought this game, at least back in the day. Here's the Hourglass of Fate. Keep it with thee always, for through it, the monk's Zenka can aid thee. What does it do? As long as the Hourglass of Fate is with thee, if thou art killed, thou shalt be resurrected on Monk Isle. and if one of thy companions is killed, thou canst summon one of us to resurrect him or her, by use of the hourglass. That is very handy. The monk shall come soon, when thou art in a safe place, without strangers or distractions. Foretold. I'm a Zenkan monk, my son. My son? You look about the same age as me. As such, I have devoted my life to studying the prophecies of Zenka. The writings are clear. The hero shall come in the last days with 3 companions to battle against the evil which is in the land. Must be quite the evil, and that's like capitalized. They must be very, very big. Further, the hero shall be given guidance from a power that dwells in the void. What can you tell me about this power in the void, Thoxa? The writings are vague on this point, so that it is not certain whether the power lives in the void now, or merely came from that place. However, I know that thou shalt need to seek out 3 artifacts, a ring, a necklace, and an earring. This is a good time to be writing notes if you were playing this back then. Through these ancient items, the power shall communicate with thee. More than this, I know not. Promised hero. The land is in dire need of a hero. The end of the world draws nigh. There are storms which lash out with magical lightnings, and strange illnesses which plague the innocent. Lastly, there's the growing sense that something is wrong in the land. Wrong. We have a dungeon named Wrong, by the way. Oh, that's nice. Well, let me continue talking. I cannot explain further. Dost thou not feel it? The sense that something is not right. Zenka speaks of these days as a time of imbalance. Illnesses. The prophecies mentioned that a plague would come among us to sicken the meek and the innocent. Hast thou noticed the dying birds? We've only noticed rabbits, 2 of them so far. They are only the first victims. At first, the disease shall strike the wildest races, and lastly, the race of men. What can you tell me about these storms that are raging? They made my companions disappear, or die? I hope not. The storms are one of the signs that the end of the world is at hand. I know not what causes them, or how they may be stopped. Most ships have ceased to sail, for the storms strike any vessel which leaves harbor. The lightning doth have the power to kill, or to teleport, and sometimes it changes the nature of that which it strikes. Assistance. My time with thee is short, so take careful heed of mine advice. There's a cave further south by a large red bush. Its entrance is invisible. If thou canst find thy way in, it may provide more clues. Follow the coast until thou dost come to a great city. The name of the city is Monitor, or Monitor. An old friend of thine awaits thee there. Ah, that's a clue. She did say the storms can kill or teleport. It likely teleport our companions away from us. Speaking of which, companions. The writings of Zenka speak of the 3 which shall travel with thee. Without them thou canst not succeed. They shall be thine oldest and most trusted friends, and it is their part to share thine adventure with thee. Thou must find them, hero, and then never let them leave thy side. Try to remember that. For later. Way later. Bye. I must go now, before those who oppose me find that I have been here. Farewell. Thoxa. No. Thou shouldst know better than to meddle in the affairs of fate, Thoxa. By merely talking with the hero, thou mayst be condemning us. We must intervene, Karnax. The very fabric that weaves the tapestry of the cosmos may depend on it. Thou art as foolish as ever, girl. Zenka's writings are crystal clear. Those who seek to aid the hero shall cause his greatest calamities. I must stop thee before thou sendest us all to our doom. Just casting a spell. This fire ring shall save thee from being destroyed during the battle. This battle, hero. Neither of us means thee harm, but errors can occur in the heat of combat. Remain within the ring. They're fighting. It's a little hot. Looks like Karnax is winning. How is he casting all those spells in quick succession? Very powerful magic. Unlike anything I have ever seen. She lives! I'm not so easily defeated, friend monk. Wow, hope I can cast that in the future. Hero, listen to me before the fires consume me. Beware of thy friends. It shall only bring destruction upon thee. Really? Thou wilt pay. Well, it looks like Thoxa won. Looks like barely. Karnax is defeated for now. I'm too weak and must leave. Remember to seek out the 3 companions. They must be at thy side. And watch for the ring, necklace, and earring, for by these the power shall guide thee. Seek out thy black sword with the caged demon that thou didst bring with thee from the other land. Thou must have it to complete thy quest. Well, Daemon, actually, but it's the same thing. That was an odd encounter. Hourglass, power that dwells in the void, a ring, necklace, and earring, imbalance. What's this kooky lady talking about? But someone's approaching us. That is Shamino. Avatar, art thou alright? I heard what sounded like the explosions of a volcano. Look at all the fire here. I have been searching all over for thee. That storm hath left me quite disconcerted. I can find neither Iolo nor Dupre. And to make matters worse, nothing remains of the equipment that Lord British gave us, of course. It hath all been replaced by strange items that I do not recognize. Perhaps thou shouldst inspect thine equipment as well. I did. I shall make a list of what we have. Such strangeness. Well, good news. Our companions are likely alive and just scattered around Serpent Isle. I hope not too far. Let's open up Shamino's inventory. You may notice he probably got the worst end of the deal. Just by, you know, taking a look at his avatar here, his paper doll. I'm assuming because he's carrying an odd hairbrush, an animal skull, a bear skull, and he's wearing women's slippers. Shamino, can you just take that off before approaching me? It's a little silly. You could also put these away too, right here. He's also got a severed hand. Put it right here. It moves. A little creepy. So we'll put that in his bag, and don't show that to anyone. I think they're gonna probably burn you at the stake for carrying that. He still has his trusty hammer, though. And I'll take his chain coif. So why not? And there is Thoxa's hourglass, which I won't put in Shamino's backpack because I forgot it was open for a few seconds. Put that there, and there's the scroll. The list of items which we found ourselves with after the storm, prepared by Shamino. A pine cone, or at least it appears to be one. A fine pair of sheer stockings, probably women's attire. Oops, I skipped that by accident, double-clicked by accident, excuse me. A rock. A fine crafted ring of silver, of a size to fit a small woman or a child. A ridiculous fur cap, an enameled breastplate, suitable for ceremonial occasions. Bottle of ice wine, whatever that is. Strange baubles, silver disc with jewels in the center. A red hunk of stone. Some very old and worn slippers, such as might be worn in the privacy of one's home or on Shamino's feet. A crude brush, a large skull, no doubt belonging to some large and dead animal. A bloody hand, severed from its corpse. It shows no sign of decay. Yet. A strange apparatus of glass and copper is the one I accidentally skipped over. So, that's going to update as we play. I think everything here is just fine. That ring he's talking about is on the avatar's finger. Let's take that off. This list was actually bugged in the original, which brings me to Serpent Isle fixes. I did read that, and I'll try to be quick and gab a little bit, that Serpent Isle fixes and Blackgate keyring mod require a snapshot of Exalt to work. Also, these, the ocean's not moving. The heck? Let me, reload. There we go. Probably because I was in conversation, but Serpent Isle fixes and Blackgate keyring, I read in the README that it actually requires a snapshot of Exalt to work, but I think it's outdated because I played this mod 2 years ago on the official Exalt for the review. I've had no issues, no crashing. I even went on the GitHub discussion board for Exalt. One person was having their Blackgate keyring mod crashing on official, and they fixed it. And developers asked them, are you playing official or snapshot? They're playing official. They didn't seem too bothered by that, so I'm assuming, just by that, the fact that they didn't correct the person saying, yeah, you should have played snapshot, that's what you should be using. Tells me that everything should be hunky-dory, but worst comes to worst, I can always restart the game and base, play up to the point where I left off, and then continue on with the Let's Play. Speaking of which, let's continue on with the Let's Play. Go south. I don't have any weapons, though. I just got a shield and my bare fist. Shamino's got his, not magical, two-handed hammer. And Thoxa mentioned there's a cave nearby, but I'm gonna go south a little bit. Oh. Remember how we picked up those bananas earlier? Sometimes that storm brings in new items that you might want to pick up, if you're lucky. It's completely random. Oh, what is that? Avatar. That seems alike to the bow I did lose to the magical storm. And we are carrying an animal skull, given to us by the strange storm. It must have changed places with my bow. Reuben, it is a clue. If we find where the other strange items came from, we shall find our lost possessions. That's a big clue. Here, take that. He has no arrows, though, unfortunately. And note the torches can go on your belt, too. That's pretty cool. If you check your scroll, you'll see it'll update. Or not. I guess it's not in here. Pine cone, sheer stockings, apparatus, rock, ring. Nothing there. There we go. I'm going too quickly. Especially when I talk, I can't pay attention to text at the same time. The skull of a great mountain bear. That's it. I was looking for bow. He doesn't mention the bow. So we don't need this little item anymore. Which Shamino has. Which he was carrying in his hand. So we'll return it to its rightful spot. Right there. Was it like right here? Yeah, it goes right there, I guess. Or is it like this? That makes more sense. Yeah, it's fine. Let's find that cave that Thoxa was talking about. Behind a red bush? That's a red bush right there. Got a well here. Who put this well here? My lord. I'll wager that chest is locked. If we had lock picks, however, we could open it. They work on locked doors, too. Of course, we only use them for virtuous reasons. The Avatar is no common thief. Right. What's in the barrel, though? Absolutely nothing, but behind the barrel is... bag. What's inside the bag? Some lockpicks. Wonderful. I'll put the torch here and equip this bag on our belt, which is one of the coolest features of this game. This really blew my mind back in the day. This was like really advanced stuff. I never encountered any game. This was like 1996 when I played this. No other game was like this. It's like very, very advanced. Not amazing today, but back then it was something else. I'm going to take these lockpicks out of the bag and put it here. I'm going to put all those items that we got in the storm in this bag. The pumice, the woman's fur cap, the ring. The breastplate should fit. If you click on it, it says just regular breastplate. Breastplate, excuse me. A ready red rock, whatever this is. It says Filari. Must be currency. I'll put that there. Pine cone, and I'll put just the items. I was thinking about putting the scroll in there. Speaking of which, I will put the scroll in there. That's the right one, right? Yes, it is. And what a thing for Lord British to give us some awesome equipment, at least for the Avatar, to start off Adventure right, but, you know, developers had to make it difficult for you and scatter all your items across the world, which I'm not really mad about. That's actually very clever. It gives you an excuse. It gives you a quest to do. Go find your items and explore the world. It's actually very, very, very smart. Food. Shamino can carry the food. Bananas. Bottle. That's fine there. Pocket watch. Got some of that. Got some money. You can carry the torches. Shamino, and that's it. Oh, right. Pine cone, not pine cone. The brush, the hand, slippers. Trying to organize a little bit. Looks like that's all. My goal, empty out this bag and get our items back. Ah, a bedroll over here, though. My lord. A bedroll. With this, thou wilt sleep well anywhere. Alright, we'll definitely take that. And you can put it right here on your back, which I like doing. Also, it looks really big, which makes sense. Got a bucket. I don't think we need the bucket. I will save. We got how many lockpicks? We got 5, right? 5 good old lockpicks. With 18 decks, we're probably going to fail a few attempts at this. You press P, the hotkey, to use lockpicks. First attempt, lovely. I got some items. Dagger, I would definitely take that. Some gloves. A sextant, which we definitely need. Now, if only we find a map of this this place. I will probably go ahead and take the sling. We don't know what shape Iolo and Dupre will be once we meet them. Shamino can carry the food and torches. Cheese, that, and apple. Reuben. Let us take that torch. We need all that we can find, for they do not burn for long. No doubt we shall be in many strange dungeons before our adventure is over, indeed. This part of the game, on this corner of the island, is like the tutorial. So, that's why Shamino is treating the Avatar not really like the Avatar. Well, he is. He's also talking to the player. Now, we got this here, an Ankh altar. How did it get here? This is not Britannia. This is Serpent Isle. Speaking of which, Serpent Isle is actually land that the Avatar did visit way back in the earlier Ultima games, like Ultima 1, 2, and 3. I don't know if I should spoil it, because the game doesn't really mention what it is, but I probably won't mention it right now. Now, these are serpent scales right here. Those are reagents, so I'll take these. You never know when we might need them. Anything underneath this broken cup? No. Pick broke, unlocked. So we got like 2 lockpicks left, don't we? No, 3. Ah, sword, lovely. I will take off this dagger, equip the sword. Shamino gets a nice pair of boots instead of slippers. Also have him carry the buckler. And I'll also go ahead and give him the gold. Right there. You're going to see me organize a lot. This is still Ultima 7, which means there's a lot of inventory management, which makes my mind go all over the place, which is lovely. I was also going to say something else, but I completely forgot. So let's just read this scroll. My lord. I see a scroll. Perhaps it contains clues about this place, or counsel for our future adventurings. And I forgot to mention, remember how Thoxa was asking you those copyright protection questions? If you fail them, something funny happens, and I will show at the end of the video. But for now, I will read this scroll, which just says scroll. Dearest Drogeni, what follows is an excerpt from a translation of an ancient manuscript. The translation is crude, since I do not as yet, fully understand the serpent runes. I think thou wilt find this very exciting. Until we meet again, Erstim, thy devoted servant. We heard the name Erstim in the questions from Thoxa, one of them. Listen to that music. I write this in great haste, he's translating, for I can already hear the forces of order breaching the keep walls. I know not how this missive will survive to reach the outside lands, or for that matter, future generations. Mine only hope is that this speedily drafted work will offer record of our hallowed philosophy. For our culture to have any chance of enduring the ages, someone, somewhere must find this. Please, reader, I beseech thee, spread the word of our peoples, release the spirit of our word, and learn from the wisdom of the past. Balance, the harmony between the principles of order and chaos, is the one pure axiom we hold true. All 3 principles are symbolized in our hieroglyphs. The great earth serpent, keeper of balance, lies on a vertical plane, around which the 2 opposing serpents of chaos and order wrap themselves. Chaos and order each embrace 3 forces. These 6 forces, when combined, form the 3 principles of balance. The forces of chaos are tolerance, enthusiasm, and emotion. The forces of order are ethicality, discipline, and logic. Chaos, tolerance is that which encourages the acceptance of all things. Yes, I'm going to read this entire scroll. There's a lot of reading in this game. And I'm going to read every single word. Enthusiasm is the energy that allows one to perform great tasks. Emotion is the ability to perceive those feelings that come from the heart, as opposed to coming from the mind. Order. Ethicality is the belief that there is great value in abiding by rules of conduct. Discipline is the drive to complete a task and avoid the distractions that will prevent its completion. Logic permits clear, reasoned thought, free from any instinctual biases. Balance. From the marriage between two forces, one each from chaos and order, come the principles. Tolerance and ethicality combine to form harmony, the ability to be at peace with the self, the individual, and the world. From the union of enthusiasm and discipline springs dedication, that which permits one to surmount obstacles and lead others. And finally, emotion, tempered by logic, results in rationality, the ability to comprehend life and understand the world around us. The forces of chaos and order must ever remain in balance, for imbalance leads to disaster. Witness the war-torn state of our world today. As thou canst surely see, my world hath been torn asunder by disregard for balance, our dearest axiom. If thou dost thrive in a time less violent, I can do no more than plead with thee to help restore balance to the Serpent Isle. I must end this brief explication here, for I can hear mine attackers pounding upon the oaken door downstairs. I wish thee and thy world better fortune than mine own. Sithnos, the great Hierophant. I will take this scroll for reference in the future. That has a lot of information on the former system that these people followed. And note, it's very dark. We have torches, but we don't need them. We're just going to leave. I imagine the person who brought this along probably still believed in the 8 virtues and wanted to quality worship or something, but it is strange that it's here. But I will leave. We're kind of hurried along in this direction. Not hurried, but it's kind of a straight shot. In fact, the gameplay design of Serpent Isle, there's an enemy here, is a little different versus the Black Gate. Also, how about you? There's 2 wolves. And just like Black Gate, our companions take a little bit too long to slay enemies when they're down like that. We get any experience. The Avatar got a little bit. I'm going to use the 3 training points we got in the future on, well, probably Dex and Combat. Combat, just like Black Gate, is very, very important. It calculates how effective you can hit an enemy. It's your accuracy, I believe. Shamino also got some experience. And unlike games of today, the experience is not shared. The person who deals the killing blow gets the experience, unless things change in Exalt. It looks like we interrupted the wolves' meal. I guess they were still hungry because 1 pig or boar is not enough. But thankfully, Shamino is a hunter. He's a ranger, which means he can take the meat of this animal. Let's go this way. It's been like, what, 40 minutes already? My goodness. Yeah, the gameplay design to Serpent Isle is much different, or a little different versus the Black Gate. I won't mention what that is yet, but you'll know once we get to the actual overworld. Ah, civilization. There's a guard here. Let's talk to him. You can press T to talk, just like in the Black Gate. That's an excellent thing, I believe. Halt! Who art thou? And what is thy business? We're not going to be mean. We're just going to say, my name is Reuben. I see. Another stranger. Most suspicious. There have not been many travelers recently. Who are these strangers you mentioned? The colored storms and the goblins had kept most people off the roads, and so 'tis unusual to see strangers in Monitor. So far, Thoxa is correct. The city of Monitor is nearby. Suspicious, in fact. Perhaps thou art in league with the enchanter who materialized in the center of town. We promptly jailed him. But the uproar interrupted the funeral ceremonies. Who's the enchanter? Thou hast shown unusual interest in this man. Speak to Lord Marston. I shall say no more to thee about the matter. What funeral? It is a sad affair. One of our patrols was ambushed, and the goblins slew nearly all of them. Only Templar survived to return. Worse yet, the patrol was led by the champion knight. and she remains lost, we must assume that she is slain, and the helm monitor taken. What of the helm monitor? The helm is more than symbolic. Yes, the champion knight wears it, but it stands for something. It was once the property of the goblin chieftain who nearly conquered Monitor. Or is it Monitor? I like to say Monitor. Note the name. If you played Ultima 3, there was a town in that game called Montor. It's been renamed Monitor, or Monitor. I'm just going to say Monitor. Now that they have it again, we are in dire trouble. Who was the champion knight? We are lost without Astrid, for she was a warrior of warriors. Only the bravest knight can be the champion of Monitor. We compete constantly for the title, and this keeps us fit to battle the goblin hordes. Astrid was unique among us, for she had held the title for nearly 3 years. In the north, they say that women are weak, but not in Monitor. And what are these goblins? We met goblins in Labyrinth of Worlds, if you watched my stream of it a long time ago, the stream VOD. Foul creatures. They are the bane of our existence. We are at war with the goblins, and have been for many generations. If it were not for the pikemen patrolling the roads, one could never travel anywhere. Travel? Why would anyone bother with going anywhere beyond Monitor? This is where courage thrives. Out there, frivolity reigns. Moonshade is nothing more than a city of mages. Who needs magic? It pales before a sharply owned sword. I do agree with that. As for Fawn, the place is obsessed with strange customs, and they worship beauty. Now, how can that compare to courage? Storms. Didst thou not see the storm which passed by her so recently? We did not just see it, we experienced it firsthand. Even a knight must hide from the fury of nature. Hast thou noticed the lightning? It comes in many colors, and it has sinister magical properties. Roads. Dost thou know nothing? Why, we Monitorians have rebuilt the ancient highways, and added new trails and byways. Each of our commands supplies the men to guard the towers which protect the trade routes. But it is all foolishness. Fawn Tower hath been conquered, and the goblins will not stop there. Open the gate. Art thou friend or foe? Well, we're not going to say foe. We're going to say friend. This would be funny. It's like, are you friend or foe? I'm your foe. I'm your enemy. Open the gate. No, thou art a friend. I shall let thee in. But thou must have an escort until thou hast spoken to Lord Marston. Thou canst find him at the crematorium, mourning for the dead. Follow the road north. Remember, we shall be keeping an eye upon thee. Hail, pikemen. Yes, open the gate. Civilization. These are pikemen. Do they have anything to say? I will not discuss matters with a stranger to Monitor. Thou shouldst speak with Lord Marston. Okay, move along. Knights, I hope they're, I'm sure they're humble, honorable, and very, very friendly. They have to be if they're knights, right? They said go north. It's also raining. Oh, it's a little girl. Why is she following me? Let's talk to her, see what she has to say. She seems to be about the same age as Spark, though Spark didn't join us on this adventure, just Shamino, Dupre, and Iolo. His vengeance has been done, finished, and I imagine he's going to go back to be a, learn how to be a blacksmith or something. And also, we're never going to hear of Spark ever again. Origin had this thing where they just sort of abandoned characters. Him, and you remember the romance subplot in Blackgate, we're not going to hear of Nastasia ever again. So, yeah. I'm not as young as I look. Dost thou know how hard it is to be small for one's age? I am 14 years old, nearly old enough to be a knight of Monitor. But everyone thinks that I'm a little girl. Sorry, I mean, welcome to Monitor. My name is Kantra. It's a very unique name. Never seen it in any other game. I could say bye, but we'll ask about knight. I trained for a long time to become a knight. There's nothing in the world so wonderful as being a knight. My father was a knight, and a very good one, but he is dead now. When I turn 15, I can take the test of knighthood and become a grand warrior. Who's your father? What's his name? Everyone says that he might be alive, but it hath been weeks since he disappeared. I am old enough to face the truth. He was on patrol near Monitor. He told the pikeman that he had found something suspicious, and he went to look, and he never returned. It must have been the goblins. I refused to weep. I vowed that the first dozen goblins I slay shall be for him. Training. I am strong, I am ready. The goblins will be no match for me. I have trained well. If Iolos need a trainer, I can recommend one. Everyone says that Shazana is the best trainer, but she is such a tyrant. Ever since my father died, Kaladin hath been my trainer. He is big and loud and sometimes dumb, but he doth have a good heart. That is actually true. He is actually a pretty good trainer. You will see why once we meet him, mechanically wise. Test of knighthood. I have been training for the test for mine entire life. Anything that thou needst to know, I can tell thee. It truly isn't so dangerous, and if thou dost know the secrets, and Schmed is nothing to worry about. What wouldst thou like to know? Where's that? The test of knighthood takes place in the Night Mountains, just north of the city. Thou must follow the trail that leads west from the highway. But beware of goblins. They come ever closer to the city of late. Even the bravest warrior can be slain if ambushed. What are the secrets? These actually are not secrets, since everyone in Monitor knows how Knight's Test doth operate. To become a knight, thou must survive the dungeon there. Simply remember these tips. Do not look back, or the explosions will overcome thee. Move swiftly at first. Look upwards, as well as from side to side. There are clues that would otherwise escape thee. Be prepared to climb. Timing is essential. The fiery missiles can be outrun. If thou dost watch carefully. Use thine hands to search as well as thine eyes, for some things are invisible. The last chamber is kept a secret, but I will wager that it is as easy as the rest of the dungeon. If thou dost keep a calm head and steady nerves. What can you tell me of Schmed? Oh, he's the old man who administered the test. I do not like him much. He looks at me oddly sometimes. Oh. We know why. She doesn't because she's a young girl. Also a little bit of a clue as to the nature of the writing in this game, which you will see in about 5 to 10 minutes. He will not let thee into the dungeon until thou dost give him the password. Only Lord Marston can give the password to thee. Schmed also disarms thee, since thou canst only enter the knight's test with a mace and leather armor, and no companions may accompany thee. Permission. If thou wish to take knight's test, thou must ask Lord Marston for his permission. Nothing more. Very well. Bye. Well, I hope that thou dost attempt the knight's test, and when thou dost, please come back to tell me about it. Farewell. Slay a goblin, and off she goes. Let's continue north and find Lord Marston. This must be the crematorium where we're supposed to enter. And they're using the same runic symbols from Britannia. I guess they carried that over. These are, this is from the runic alphabet. If you're watching this for the first time, you didn't watch Black Gate. Let's enter. Talk to this gentleman here. Don't double click on the table. Double click on the guy. I say here, I'm Renfrey the Cremator. And there is a funeral in progress. Lords Marston, Spectre, Brendan, and Kaladin are all in the crypts, paying their last respects. Well, that's a clue. Let's go find them. Why is this torch doused? Let's turn that on. These torches don't go out, so you may as well turn them on when you see them. Ah, here we go. Let's talk to... which one's Lord Marston? I know who he is, I'm just saying. I've not seen thee in Monitor before. Thou art new here. Welcome. Name? I'm called Kaladin, after mine own grandfather. He was a champion knight. And if I ever discover who has his urn, I shall wring their neck. Canst thou imagine someone stealing the ashes of the dead? Ashes of the dead? I am not superstitious, mind thee. But I do believe that a man's ashes are sacred. They represent his soul, his heart, his honor. To know that my grandfather's ashes have been taken from the crypts. Crypts. The ashes of the dead are kept in the mountain caves, where wild beasts cannot defile their urns. Renfrey is the caretaker there. If thou dost desire to pay thy respects to the dead, thou shalt no doubt encounter him there. Honor? Nothing is more important than one's honor. Ah, we have honor back in Britannia. It's a virtue. This guy has given me a good first impression of the knights here. I'm a valiant man, and I can promise thee 3 things. I shall never surrender my sword to my foe. You're carrying a halberd, though. My promised word shall never be broken. Fear is beneath me, and I refuse to let the creeping stink of fright soil my mind. I shall always be fearless. Okay, change subject, certainly. Champion Knight. The Champion Knight of Monitor is the one who hath won the right to wear the Helm of Courage. Currently, the helm is in the hands of the goblins. They took the helm when they slew Astrid, our last Champion Knight. The helm must be recovered, and Astrid must be avenged. What are your duties? I'm the leader of the Command of the Bear. The Bears are the bravest, most virile warriors in Monitor. That's one way to put it, to describe your Legion of Knights. Courage is our name. Note the tattoo here. That signifies the command the person is in. Do not smirk. I wasn't. The Command of the Bear is unmovable. We were smirking at the viral line. The goblins dare not assault Monitor, for they know that we are here. I'm also one of the best combat trainers in the land, shouldst thou need such aid. That's not very humble of you. Trainer. Yes, I am a trainer. I specialize in making men out of boys. Strength is the key. Once that is gained, I then turn to emphasizing the fundamentals of combat, but thou shouldst ask me this another time. Come to the list field at noon, any day, and I should be happy to train thee. 'Tis at the south end of town, and is where all the knights go to fight in tournaments and improve their fighting skills. What can you tell me about goblins? They're wretched beasts. I suppose thou hast heard of the ambush at Fawn Tower. They do not fight fair. Poor Astrid. She was an inspiring warrior, as well as a lusty wench. Damn, but she could kill goblins. The wolves and the leopards are useless in a crisis like this, but the bears shall exact revenge from the goblins. If I ever find out who betrayed that patrol... Betrayed? I probably shouldn't have talked to him first. I should have just talked to Marston. It's this guy, by the way. So maybe I should keep my own counsel, but I'm not the quiet type. The Fawn Tower was betrayed. How else did the goblins surprise the entire patrol? Astrid was no fool. Someone betrayed her. Betrayed her? Whoever betrayed Astrid's patrol must have been a knight. No one else could have done it. The bears suspect Craig the Provisioner being involved, but the wolves deny it, of course. Someone should question that weakling, and see if his guilt can be proven. Useless. Worse than useless, why, the leopards are led by so-called warriors who spend all day sitting on their arses. Marston is too old, and Spectre, he reads books. As for the wolves, everyone knows that Brendan is weak. If Iolos asks me, he spends too much time playing stud, and not enough with his sword and axe. Fawn Tower. The pikemen of Monitor are the guardians of Serpent Isle. Our 3 towers protect the Serpent Highway, and defend against goblin invasions. Also, if it's not already apparent, there's going to be a lot of talking in Serpent Isle. It heavily focuses on the narrative over exploration. Besides, the tower here, there is a second at Sickening Bull, the 3rd tower was near Fawn, and hath been overrun by goblins. My tone of voice was wrong for that first part there. Bears. The Bear Command follows a strategy of protection. We are concerned with protecting our home and making it impregnable, thereby giving us the perfect base from which to give any sort of military operation a successful launch. Command. We're almost done. The Knights of Monitor each serve a particular command. Each command espouses its own unique military strategy. Courage. Our city was founded on the principle of courage. Valor is the virtue we follow. If one cannot show his own prowess in everything undertaken, then one is not worthy to be a Knight of Monitor. Okay, bye. I'm not usually so talkative to an outsider. Thou shalt not find many in this town who welcome strangers. A word of advice. If thou desirest to be accepted in Monitor, thou shouldst consider taking the test in knighthood. If thou art not a knight, then thou art nothing. But I'm the Avatar. Glad to see that ye have some spirit, my boy. Knighthood is what divides the real men from the weak-willed boys. To become a Knight of Monitor, thou must first ask permission of the Lord of Monitor. Then thou must journey to the dungeon called Knight's Test. If thou canst survive that ordeal, then thou canst receive thy knighthood. We still got more talking, old deal. Fire explosions, wild animals, puzzles to queer the mind, and mysteries beyond the understanding of mortals. Well, perhaps I exaggerate some. The test is difficult, and many have died, but if thou dost know the secrets of the dungeon, the quest is not so hard. After all, most Monitorians take the test when they are 15 years of age. Young Cantra will take it soon. With training, thou canst succeed. We know where it is already from Cantra, but we'll ask again. Knight's Test is located in the mountains just north of the city. Thou canst easily find it by taking the Serpent Highway north, then following the first trail leading west. A sign points the way. But before going, thou must speak with Lord Marston. Only he can give thee the password. Schmed will not admit thee to the dungeon without it. There have also been many goblins in the area, so be aware. Knighthood. When thou hast completed the test, then there will be a great banquet held for thee. Thou shalt receive thy tattoo, and shalt wear the pelt of thy totem animal. But we can discuss this upon thy return. If thou dost have the courage to take the test in knighthood. We know secrets from Cantra, but we'll ask again. I'm going to go through every dialogue I can. I'll give you 3 clues. In the first chamber, speed is the clue. Do not look back, or you'll be a goner. Later on, seek that which cannot be seen. It may be hard to find. To overcome, thou must find the claw and the urn of Gnorder. Use the claw to draw thy blood, then mix the blood with the ashes in the urn. Then thy fate shall be made known to thee. Trainer. We already chose that earlier, so I'll skip that. What can you tell me about Cantra? She's very enthusiastic. I'm surprised thou dost not know of the girl. Well, we do. We just want to know your opinion. She hath a bright curiosity, and is always pestering visitors. Cantra is the daughter of the town healer Harna. Her father hath been missing for many weeks. She doth favour him. Very proud, very ambitious, and eager for her knighthood. What of Schmed? He's the keeper of Knight's Test. Schmed is a wolf. If thou dost ask me, he hath gone soft. Hardly ever see him on the list field. I have no use for him. But he doth do a fair job of administering the test. Change subject, and finally, bye. Until later. Courage. Note that they still follow valor and courage, similar to like the 8 virtues back in Britannia, but like separately. Not the principle of courage, but like they brought things over. Stuff like that. Now this is Marston right here. We'll talk to him. Greetings, sir. Hello. Greetings, stranger. I am Lord Marston. Thou hast come to this city at a grievous hour. We are here to entomb the ashes of this brave pikeman Groat, as well as to mourn the loss of our knight champion. Asher was the finest knight that Monitor ever had. The goblins ambushed her patrol. They slew all but one of the pikemen, and took Asher's body back to their camp, to be feasted upon and used to make their sickening trophies, no doubt. When the reinforcements came, they were mere moments too late. They managed to rescue Groat, but his injuries were too severe. Not even our healer Harna could save him. Damn the goblins, they should be exterminated. What business dost thou have with me, stranger? We could ask immediately about the enchanter, who is probably one of our companions. But we'll, go through the rest of dialogue first. Who was Astrid? Canst thou imagine the horrors of being devoured alive? She was a masterful warrior, and deserved a finer death than this. Understand, stranger, that Marston and this woman were bedmates. Thanks for letting me know. There is none to replace her, and certainly none able to reclaim the helm of Monitor from the goblins. What can you tell me about the helmet? 'Tis a sacred item once belonging to the goblins. It was what gave their ancient leader, Grenadier, however you pronounce that, the power to build the goblin horde. When our forefathers killed Grenadier, the helm was claimed from Monitor. It hath been worn by the knight champion. We need to reclaim it, else the goblins shall again build their horde and invade this great city. So unlike the goblins in Labyrinth of Worlds, the goblins here are not very friendly. And there were some that weren't very friendly in that game either. What can you tell me about the goblins? That's a lot of stuff. I vowed a war upon them until the end of the world. There should be no end to my vengeance upon the goblins. They have robbed, pillaged, and murdered our people since our ancestors came here centuries ago. They delight in kidnapping our women and eating them alive. In the end, 'tis either men or goblins. Both of us cannot dwell here. We'll ask about ancestors in a little bit. What of the knight champion? Knight Champion is the most revered title in Monitor, more than Lord. To be Knight Champion is to be the finest warrior in the land. To own their skills, our knights meet daily on the list field to spar. Thus, they demonstrate their martial prowess. From success in tournament and in battle, the Knight Champion is determined. He or she is privileged to wear the helm of Monitor. Listfield. Thou canst hardly miss the Listfield. 'Tis the walled field in the south part of town. There is no shortage of opponents, especially if thou dost go there in the late morning or afternoon. Even strangers like thyself are welcome to spar. 'Tis good preparation for the test of knighthood. I'll ask that in a bit too. So you two were bedmates, as that guy said. Yes, Asher and I were bedmates. I will not say we were lovers, for we were also warriors and comrades in arms. And we knew that any time either one of us took the battlefield might have been the last time we could have seen each other. I loved her, but we were not in love. I shall always remember her. As shall I. ... What was that thou saidst, Brendan? But, oh, nothing, merely mentioned that we shall all miss her presence. She was a fine warrior. My goodness. Okay, Gnordir. If thou dost wish to learn more of this evil race and its history, speak to Templar. He's an expert on the subject. Will do. Raid the goblins. I see no reason to discuss this matter with someone who is not even a knight. We'll choose that in the future, then, once we are a knight. One cannot be born a knight, nor can the title be bestowed for money or influence. Only a worthy warrior can become a knight. To test the worthiness of those who sought knighthood, a special dungeon was prepared. If one can survive knight's test, then one is ready for knighthood. It is an honor to become a knight of Monitor, yet 'tis also a heavy responsibility. There are many enemies in the land. Responsibility. One cannot shirk one's responsibilities after becoming a knight. Thy command might call thee to tower duty, or to scout the goblins. There is nothing worse than deserting thy command. In times of crisis, thy place is here in Monitor. For instance, young knight Wilfrid hath left Monitor to investigate the strange death of his father. Such nonsense. He is needed here, with his brother knights. Knight's Test. The dungeon lies north of town, in the mountains. At the entrance, a knight named Schmed amates the hopeful warriors. He can explain the rules of the test to thee, or thou couldst speak with Kaladin. 'Tis Kaladin's duty to instruct knight candidates. What of your ancestors who came to this land? Our people fled from their homeland when an evil tyrant united the kingdoms, and sought to force his philosophy upon them. So we set sail from Caesarea, and, led beyond the Serpent Pillars by a mage named Erstim, we came to the Serpent Isle. This land was deserted then, settled only by goblins and covered with the ruins of a mysterious, ancient Serpentine civilization. Caesarea, you say? I'm going to choose that last, probably. This new land was originally to be called New Caesarea, but it became known as the Serpent Isle upon the discovery of various ruins and mysterious ancient serpent writing. We know little else of the race that left its mark here. Ruins? Thou dost see them across the land, left behind by the evil creatures which once dwelled in this place. That fellow Craig could tell thee more. He is most fond of taking long walks in distant places, and often sees strange sights. Erstim. We heard that name twice already. He was a wild-eyed man, driven by his thirst for knowledge and his need for the freedom to pursue it. It is said that in his studies and experimentations he did discover things that drove him insane. Others say it was the loss of a woman who was his true love that drove him mad. Today, he is known as the Mad Mage, and his name is most often spoken in hushed whispers. And what of this tyrant you mentioned? He was an evil man, and knight and mage alike rebelled against his tyranny. So our ancestors fled here and founded the 3 cities. British was his name. Lord British, he called himself. But we call him Beast British. We can say we serve him, but it's wise to say nothing. If you do choose this, though, I do remember, they will all be outraged and not talk to you anymore. And if you want to talk to them again, you have to renounce your service to Lord British. So I'll just go ahead and say nothing. And before I continue, I do remember in an interview a long time ago that LB, the real life version, Richard Garriott, actually had a bit of a drama between him and his team, which they reconciled, I think. It's been a long time since I watched the video. But there was like friction between him and his developers, and this part of the story reflects that. So we're going to say nothing. Beast British, you say? That tyrant Beast British tried to force his bent philosophical virtues upon our ancestors. As magic depends greatly upon illusion, the moon mages dismiss the value of truth. As worshippers of beauty, the people of Fallen saw the little worth in unconditional love. We of Monitor feel that courage stands above his other virtues. Okay, 3 cities. 3 great cities were founded by those who fled the tyrant: Moonshade, Fawn, and Monitor. So the town Moonshade in Ultima 3 was called Moon. Also note, Moonshade, Moonglow in Britannia. The mages here believe that since magic is based on illusion, that honesty is not a good virtue for it. Moonshade is the city of mages, as I said. Fawn is the city that worships beauty. As for Monitor, 'tis the city thou art in now. 'Tis a city based on courage. Change subject. Certainly. What can you tell me about the enchanter? It is most disrespectful, excuse me. It's going to be kind of long talking, and I'm really stumbling over this speech. I had to take a few breaks. The way that enchanter did interrupt our memorial service. The white-haired wizard appeared on the top of the cremator, in the most reverent part of the ceremony. I ordered him jailed. We are very strict here in Monitor. Could this be our friend Iolo, my lord? Then thou shouldst visit the criminal at jail. We have our hands full in this town with the goblins, and we do not need such pranksters in Monitor. Duties. I'm the Lord of Monitor, the city of knights. There are 3 bodies of knights in the city. No command is better than another, for all warriors are equal. As the leader of the leopards, this is my year to rule Monitor. Leopards. We are the peacemakers. The bears and the wolves always quarrel, but we stop them from wringing each other's necks. We bring balance to the community. It is not always glorious to be a leopard, but we are proud to do our duty. What can you tell me of the bears? The bears have saved this city again and again. They never forget that we live under siege, that the goblins could always attack. The city walls were constructed by the bears. They are tough, strong, powerful warriors. Kaladin is their lord. We talked to him. And what of the wolves? The prosperity of Monitor is due to the foresight of the wolves. They have forced us to reach out to our fellow man. The wolves repaired the ancient highways and added new roads to link the 3 cities. They built the guard towers. Brendan is their lord. The wolves are smart, preferring cunning over brute force. Command? Every citizen of the town must become a knight of Monitor or be banished when they reach the age of 15. The knights are organized into 3 war bands, which are known as commands: the bears, the wolves, and the leopards. As thou hast no doubt noted, our tattoos mark us according to our command. Leopard is on their forehead. I'm going to ask this later. I have no need to be a knight right now. But once we do, we'll go ahead and join them. So I'm going to say bye for now. Why hast thou come to our town? What is thy business here? Perhaps he is a spy for the goblins. Really, we just talked to you in length and you were friendly. I do not agree with all this talk of a spy in our midst. Do not let these rumors divide our city, Kaladin. Yet there was that other suspicious stranger, the fat sage, whom I threw out of town. That is obviously Batlin. And that scholar, a woman with fine bone structure, but a little too old to pleasure me. So I'm not a prude or anything, I'm going to just bring this up. You're going to note that Serpent Isle is rather perverted in quite a few places. This is one of those signs. Maybe speaking of Iolo's wife, the good lady Gwenno? And do not forget the enchanter who appeared in the midst of the funeral services for our deceased pikemen. Warriors, be still. There is no spy in Monitor, and I refuse to hear more of this. There is no spy, I am not convinced. Ah, it's Dupre. Ribbon, I thought I would never find thee. When that strange storm struck, there was a flash, and then I found myself in the wilderness. Fearing to be slain by the goblins patrolling the woods, I instead took shelter in this walled city. But these pikemen insist on escorting me to their leader. That is all right. If thou art with my friend here, thou needst not speak with me. And he's joined us. We can ask him to leave, which we won't. We'll just say bye. Before we go any farther, Avatar, I think we should take stock of our supplies. That blasted storm exchanged all mine equipment for useless refuse, even mine enchanted shield. We cannot hope to survive long without the proper equipment. Perhaps if we can find where this rubbish came from? Come from? Can't remember if it said came or come. We can find our good equipment. I shall prepare a list. I have already begun one. Then I shall add to it. And that's it. This guy says he wishes to speak to us. Thou art not a knight. Only warriors are welcome here. Move along before thou dost feel the cold steel of mine halberd. That's mean. You're going to note that a lot of knights here are pretty vain, narcissistic, egotistical, unlike the paladins back in Britannia. So let's explore Dupre's inventory. He's carrying a blue egg. He has a shield that's not his. That's a shield of Monitor. And that's it. He has black boots, though. We will give the Avatar the blue egg and the shield. Take that off. Very, very full. Let us read the scroll, see if there's anything new. Well, anything new in depth. Prepared by Shamino with additional notes by Dupre. That's the same. That is also the same. That is also the same. As well as that, and that, and that. And that. A strange blue egg. An expensive shield, sturdy and suitable for battle. So I think I forgot to mention this in depth, but in the beginning I said, in the base game, the scroll here, I'm going to put it right here, just because, when you find an item, it wouldn't reflect in the scroll. The Serpent Isle fixes mod fixes that issue. So you can actually, once you exchange an item or your original item with whomever, it will reflect in the scroll properly, which is pretty handy. But for now, I think it's time to end this part. In the next part, I'm going to go straight for the jail and see if that enchanter Marston was talking about is actually Iolo. It is likely Iolo.